Guys, it's coffee time, and just took a shower, and now I'm eating leftover vegan pizza and coffee, because why not? It's that sort of day. Um, a friend of mine and I were talking about synesthesia yesterday. I thought it was kind of funny because it's nothing that I've ever talked about on this show, but I have a form of synesthesia. They say that most people probably have a form of synesthesia, but they don't realize it because it's so subconscious, which I think is kind of interesting. Um, but for those of you who don't know, synesthesia is like when people who are extremely good at math talk about seeing math as colors or math as shapes. That's synesthesia. It's a way in which you utilize other senses in order to take in information. It has everything to do with the way that your brain works. Like it's a completely subconscious thing. It's something that you don't develop. Another form that's really not common but is seen a lot more is spatial synesthesia, where at any point in time, like you mentally see a map of where you are, and you know exactly where you are and where you need to go in order to get other places. Yeah. So it's interesting. There are so many different like weird forms of it. Mine is totally useless, which is like it feels like I'm part of the Captain Planet group and I'm Mati. Like that's how useless I feel. My form of synesthesia is called personality synesthesia, in which I apply just subconsciously for no reason. I apply personalities to objects or things. Like it even applies to if I think about a number, I instantly think of a person, basically. Which is totally useless in the real world unless it was funny. I was talking to my dad about it, and I was like, because again, it's one of those things where you don't realize that it's weird until you're talking with somebody about it, and they're like, I've never done that before. And then everybody else at the table goes, no, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, that's how a lot of people typically find out that they have something weird about their brain. But I was talking with my dad about it, and I was like, wow, it's pretty fortunate that I happened to do costume design for a little while, because that's like the only way that it ever applies. Like our very first project in costume design was, imagine a fruit and then imagine that fruit as a costume. And I went, I'm done. Like it was just really simple. It's a simple concept for me. But like when I was little, I used to do weird things. Like I would tell my mom, like if for some reason I was assigned a number, there were certain numbers that I didn't want to be, because the personality that I had applied to the number, was too girly or was too aggressive or was too old, like strange things like that. And my mom would just be like, okay. But yeah, it's just kind of weird. Like I didn't even know that I had it until like a year ago. And then I was reading through the different forms of it, and I was like, that's me. There I am. That's weird. And again, so useless in real life. Like spatial awareness, so useful. So useful. Like I have a friend who has that, like really intensely, and I keep thinking to myself, if there's an apocalypse, I'm going to her because she knows where she is always. Or like the math one. If I had had that in high school, so many things would have been better about my life. So many things. And they keep telling me that that math becomes a lot more useful as life goes on. So I'm going to hit a point at sometime in my life, I'm going to hit a point where I'm like, if only I knew math. If only I understood math. Did you guys ever... Wait, no, we already talked about this. Or did we? Oh, drat. Well, I'm gonna talk about it anyway. I think we talked about this already. That when I was younger, I had to take a test that... No, we didn't. Oh, okay. So when I was younger, we had to take a test that was supposed to outline... I went to a private school, so they made us do weird things. I had to take a test that outlined whether or not my brain was more masculine or feminine in the way that it processed information. And literally the entire, like, male part of the test was, here's the original shape. Now here's the shape in a different way. Or like it would be no, it would be, here's the original shape, and then it would have 5 different options and be like, all of these are other shapes except one. One of them is that original shape, but just in a different way. And then they would time us. Like each page we had like, was it 30 seconds? No, that sounds too extreme for kids. It was probably like a minute. We had a minute to finish all of the questions on one page. And I got the entire masculine section of this test 100%. Because it was shapes! So it's easy for me. I was like, is there nothing else in here that's supposed to explain to you? Like, the girl side, okay. The girl side was weird things like, here's a color. Now here's the color in a different hue. Or is it this one? It would be like the same sort of thing. Like, which one is the same color but in a different hue? Or like, I don't even remember. It had to do with like color recognition. And I was like, I don't know. I love colors, but, like, it wasn't something that, with a minute, it wasn't something that I could instantly do. Like, I was just like, and turn the page, and then I was like, shapes! Fantastic! I've got this. So, yeah. Brains. Brains are fun. Brains are interesting. I would not want to study brains, I don't think. But I loved anatomy and physiology. That was, like, my favorite class in high school. And for a while, this is this is something that I like typically keep like in my pocket, sort of information that I don't tell people until I'm like talking to them and we start talking about life in general, and then I'm like, oh, well, when I was in high school I really wanted to be a coroner. Awkward. For those of you who don't know what a coroner is, it's a person who deals with dead bodies. Yeah. Because we used to see the cadavers all the time, and I thought they were so cool. And my mom at one point was like, you should just be a coroner. Like, have you ever thought about doing that? And I was like, no, but that would be the perfect job for me, because I could not give less of a care. Like, there were a lot of kids in my class, this is totally understandable. There were a lot of kids in my class who, when we would go in and see the cadaver, like, they would leave immediately, or they would get really sick, like, halfway through because of the formaldehyde. I was like, I'm fine with it. Not a big deal. Yeah, so that's, if we were IRL friends, that's a little tidbit of information that I would have saved and not told you for a while. But there it is. So, yeah. I'm trying to remember. Oh, yeah, okay. I was going to say, I'm trying to remember why I even told that story. It's because we were talking about brains, and how I said I wouldn't want to study brains, but I wouldn't mind dealing with dead bodies versus brains, which I think is not people's typical feelings one way or the other, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm trying to remember if there's anything going on at work today. I don't think there is. Yay! Anywho, I'm gonna go to work, even though I don't think there's anything going on. But I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you again tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye.